Dear Mike, this morning we had a meeting that seemed pointless. All meetings are pointless. What can I do to get my boss to either not have meetings or make them more useful? First of all, let's be clear about this. Most meetings that you'll go to in your life are going to be pointless. And here's the reason. They lack three things. They lack an agenda, they lack a deadline, and they lack goals. An agenda needs to have specific items on it. The next thing it needs to have is a time deadline. This meeting is 30 minutes long. The time deadline always trumps the agenda. So if we schedule a meeting for 30 minutes, the meeting lasts for 30 minutes or the meeting is over. Plain and simple. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of time. The other thing it needs to have is a goal. In other words, what are the actionable items that come out of the meeting? Now, I'm assuming that either one or all three of those was missing in the meeting that you had this morning or the meeting that you have with your boss. So I would do this. I would go sit down with your boss and say, listen, I just watched this thing on the internet that said there are three things you have to have in a meeting. Blame it on me. It needs to have an agenda, a time deadline, and action items at the end of the meeting. And the people who attend the meeting should only be the people who are going to either be able to execute on the action items or influence the action items. So I would sit down with your boss and say, I'd like to participate in making our meetings more productive. Here are the three things I'd really like us to think about. What are the action items? What is the time deadline? And what's our agenda? And then let's try, at least in the next meeting, only to invite those people who are absolute stakeholders. Because there are maybe times when there is an agenda item or the whole agenda has nothing to do with me. And as a heads up, I don't want to be there if it doesn't have to do with me. So what I want you to do is go sit down with your boss, have a conversation about this, click on the website, show him this particular section, and just encourage and suggest in a very positive and participative way the best way to make those meetings more successful. But if you're going to show up to the meeting, you got to be fully engaged because no one's going to pay attention to you if you're just complaining about meetings. Agenda, time limit, action items. Let me know how you're doing. Thanks.